Alright, 7th graders. So the last video we talked about independent events, two events that don't impact each other's probabilities. Today's lesson has to do with independent versus dependent events. Alright, so let's break down the two. So independent events don't affect each other. So don't affect each other. Not all right each other. Vice versa, dependent events do affect each other. So the probability of the second event is impacted by the first event. So they do affect each other. Alright, now there's some very common phrases that are often used in 7th grade to help us decipher or determine whether we're looking for independent events or whether we're looking at dependent events. Alright, and those phrases are with and without replacement. Alright, independent events will often say with replacement. Alright, with replacement. Alright, dependent events will often say without replacement or without replacing. Alright, those are useful phrases. Without replacement. Alright, now what I mean by that, let's go back to our deck of cards. This is the easiest way to do it. Alright, so I've got our 52 cards here. Alright, let's say I'm doing independent probability. Alright, and let's say I want to know the probability of getting an 8 and then a 10. Alright, now if these are independent events, I would draw my first card and I would put it back, alright, before I drew the second card. So it would say you draw your first card and then you replace it and then you draw your second card. Alright, so what's the probability that I pick out an 8? Well, I didn't get an 8. Oh, I've got a joker in here. I didn't mean to have jokers. Throw that out. Alright, so the probability of getting another joker. Oh, it's gone. Alright. Alright, so the probability of getting an 8, which I didn't get. So I draw my first card, and then I put it back. Alright, now since I put that card back, it doesn't affect the probability of getting a 10 at all. Alright, that is independent. Those are two independent events. Now, on the flip side, funny I said flip side because I have a quarter right here. I could flip it. Alright, but we're not going to. Now, if these were dependent events, let's do the same combo here. The probability of getting an 8 and a probability of getting a 10. Now, if it said without replacement, so in other words, I draw my first card, take it. Alright, I didn't get an 8, but either way, I'm going to set it aside. I am not putting it back in the deck. Now, since I didn't put it back in the deck, that impacts the probability of getting a 10 because I no longer have 52 cards. I only have 51 cards. So my probability of getting a 10 is really only 4 out of 51. Alright, so the common phrases you'll see for independent events with replacement, so you would see a card going back into the pile. For dependent events, you'll see without replacement, where you'll see that first card drawn and then it stays out. It never goes back in, so it affects that second draw of the cards. Alright guys, so hopefully this helps. Make sure you answer the question on your challenge board.